Spanish businessman Adrian Doria was released on bail after being arrested for the murder of his lover, Laura Vidal. Well, it seems like Adrian really knows how to spice up his love life with a murder accusation. His lawyer, Felix Leiva, hires renowned defense attorney Virginia Goodman, who visits him at his apartment to share important news. The prosecutor has found a witness who will testify in front of a judge very soon. Realizing they have limited time, Virginia urges Adrian to tell her everything so they can build a solid defense strategy. Adrian explains to Virginia what happened. He reveals that he and Laura had ended their affair several months ago. However, he received a threatening phone call demanding 100,000 euros and instructing them to meet at a remote countryside hotel. When Adrian arrived at the hotel, he was suddenly attacked and rendered unconscious. Upon regaining consciousness, he discovered Laura's lifeless body in the bathroom. Adrian and Laura definitely took "till death do us part" a little too seriously. Talk about a toxic relationship. To complicate matters, the police found the room's door and windows locked from the inside, making Adrian the sole suspect in the eyes of the authorities. Virginia Goodman must have a lot of faith in her skills if she's willing to take on a case where the only witness is a silent corpse in the bathroom. Adrian then shares an earlier event where he pretended to be in Paris, but was actually staying in a cabin with Laura. On their way back to Barcelona, they have a car accident while trying to avoid hitting a deer. So in their attempt to avoid a deer, Adrian and Laura end up in a car accident. Talk about some seriously bad luck. Their car collides with another vehicle, resulting in the death of the other driver, Daniel Garrido, a 23-year-old bank employee. Fortunately, Adrian and Laura escape unharmed. In an attempt to justify their involvement, Laura argues that Daniel's negligence, texting while driving and not wearing a seatbelt, contributed to the accident. As another car approaches the scene, Laura places Daniel's body on the passenger seat, and she and Adrian feign an insurance exchange with the approaching driver. To maintain the facade, Laura answers Daniel's phone when it rings, ensuring the other driver remains convinced. Meanwhile, Adrian struggles to start his car, so Laura remains with it while waiting for a tow truck. In the meantime, Adrian disposes of Daniel's car, including the body in the trunk, by submerging it in a nearby lake. Later, when Adrian meets Laura near the lake, she informs him that his car has been repaired. A helpful automotive engineer named Thomas passed by and offered assistance to Laura, who claimed to have hit a deer. Thomas towed Adrian's car to his own house for repairs. Laura must have felt like she won the jackpot when she found an automotive engineer conveniently passing by after their accident. During Tomas's wife, Elvira, and Laura's interaction, Laura notices family photographs at Tomas's house and realizes that Daniel Garrido was Tomas and Elvira's son. Just as Laura is about to leave and enters Adrian's car, she adjusts the driver's seat, raising Tomas's suspicion regarding the driver's identity. Following these events, Adrian sells his car and reports it as stolen, effectively ending his affair with Laura, hopefully for good. Well, it seems like Adrian and Laura's relationship hit a dead end just like Daniel did. After a few days, Adrian receives a summons to the police station because Tomas reported his license plate number. To protect Adrian, Felix arranges a fake alibi claiming he was in Paris and bribes the police to remove Adrian's name from the Garrido case file. Things take a surprising turn when news breaks that Daniel is now a fugitive accused of embezzling money from the bank. Adrian confronts Laura, who admits to taking Daniel's wallet from the trunk and later hacking into his account to steal the money. Adrian scolds her for her actions, but Laura retaliates by threatening to frame him as well. In a twist of events, Adrian receives the prestigious title of European Businessman of the Year. I can already imagine his acceptance speech. I'd like to thank my lawyer for arranging false alibis, my accomplice for stealing wallets, and of course my blackmailer for keeping me on my toes. During the award ceremony, Tomas disguises himself as a reporter and approaches Adrian. Tomas notices that Adrian is using the same cigarette lighter that he saw when fixing the car. Desperate for closure, Tomas pleads with Adrian to reveal the location of his son's body so that he can give him a proper burial. However, security intervenes and removes Tomas from the scene. Days later, Adrian receives a photograph of a lake along with instructions to take Laura and 100,000 euros to a rural hotel. Who needs travel agencies when you have mysterious blackmailers offering scenic getaways? Adrian suspects that the blackmailer might be the driver they encountered after the accident, who could have followed him while he disposed of the car in the lake. In the present moment, Virginia proposes a plan to help Adrian save himself. She suggests that he could claim to have seen the face of his attacker in the rural hotel room and identify the culprit as Tomas. Adrian then confesses that he has always known it was Tomas because he did see his face, but he kept this information to himself as a way of testing Virginia's abilities. Virginia proposes a cunning plan to shift the blame onto Laura. She suggests placing an item belonging to Laura in the trunk of Daniel's car, along with his body, making it appear as if Laura acted alone. However, Adrian shocks Virginia by confessing that Daniel actually regained consciousness while he was submerging the car in the lake. Unfortunately, Daniel ultimately drowned, as an autopsy would later reveal. Despite Virginia's visible astonishment, she assures Adrian that she will keep this revelation from the judge. Adrian really knows how to surprise people. "Oh, by the way, Daniel woke up while I was dumping the car in the lake. No biggie." Virginia analyzes Laura's medical records and points out her anxiety issues, suggesting that Adrian may be fabricating the story to portray Laura as the mastermind behind their deceitful actions. However, Virginia proposes an alternative theory. Tomas, driven by revenge, framed Adrian. She reveals that Elvira, Tomas's wife, happens to work at the rural hotel where Laura's body was discovered. This explains why the meeting took place there. Virginia speculates that Elvira may have unlocked the window to enable her husband to escape after killing Laura, only to lock it again later, creating the illusion that no one else entered the room. To support her argument, Virginia points out Tomas, who has been stalking Adrian, Felix, and even herself from an apartment across the street. Pressing Adrian further, Virginia's persistence pays off, as he finally admits to killing Laura and orchestrating the entire scene. Felix calls Adrian's home phone and leaves a message, asking him to return the call since he couldn't reach him on his cell phone. Virginia suggests that Adrian should call Felix while they take a short 10-minute break. Urgently, Virginia leaves the apartment. Maybe she really needs to use the restroom. Adrian switches on his cell phone and dials Felix's number. Felix reiterates that he couldn't reach Adrian earlier and shares that the witness from the prosecution's side is actually the other driver involved in the accident. Fortunately, their silence was bought successfully. While Felix inquires about the progress of the meeting with Virginia, the call becomes distorted with high-pitched tones. Someone needs to fix that phone line. Adrian realizes that their entire conversation is being recorded. He recalls how Virginia had turned off his phone earlier, most likely to prevent any signal interference during the recording. Adrian looks across the street into another apartment and spots Tomas standing next to the person he thought was Virginia. To his surprise, Virginia is actually Elvira Garrido in disguise. Elvira, armed with Adrian's coerced confession, prompts Thomas to call the police. Just then, the real Virginia Goodman arrives at Adrian's apartment. Thank you for tuning in. Smash that like button and hit subscribe for more captivating content so you can stay hooked for videos just like this one. Did you expect this ending? Let us know in the comments below. Click on the first video here if you want to see the story of a woman that finds out her boyfriend is a secret CIA agent, or check out the second video for another engaging story that's perfect for you.